Swipe Up, episode 216 of the show where I share my opinions, whether you like them or not. Just another disgusting story involving the police. This is a former police officer, former law enforcement worker, catfished a teen, then murdered 3 family members in Riverside. So this guy was from, I don't know where. He wasn't from Riverside, San Bernardino, wasn't from California. A former police officer, catfished a teenager online, drove out here, right, groomed her, drove out here to California, Southern California, to San Bernardino, to Riverside, and then killed her family. And, you know, the reason why I added this story, not only to just show the type of people that become police officers, right? The true threat to children, police officers, kind of a big one. Not only this example, but there's plenty of examples of police officers killing kids, abusing kids mentally, sexually, physically, and getting away with it. There's stories all the time of cops getting away with doing horrible things to young people. But of course, all the conservatives only really care about drag shows. They think that's like the hotbed for child abuse, right? Not police officers, and definitely not churches, right? Where it's like so common that there's literally jokes about priests molesting kids. Historically, it's so well known that there's jokes about it. But no, they have to take their assault rifles to drag shows because somebody living a lifestyle that's different from theirs, that's the thing they're scared of. That's what these fragile gun owner conservative people, these people that have like so little like self-worth, that anybody living a lifestyle that's even mildly different than theirs is considered a threat and will easily latch on to any propaganda that labels these outcasts, these different types of people, these outsiders from the binary delusion that they live in. Any time that they're labeled as a threat, they will do no research to back it up, but show up armed to the teeth to defend the kids against the violent people dressed in drag. And I criticize this guy, right? Criticize this guy because he's a cop. Not surprising. This is not sadly not a very unique story. And as I find whenever I comment on these news articles on Instagram, that there's people that get offended. I forget to put my trigger warnings, right? I forget to put like trigger warning for the back the blue people, right? If you pretend to worship and support the police and everything that they do, you may be offended that I'm not a fan of the police and am aware of what they do to people regularly. And there's this person that's clearly just delusional from the pop propaganda she was raised on, arguing with me, saying I'm wrong. I don't know what to tell you, right? I don't understand these people that like feel the need, like I'm commenting on the story, they don't like my comment, so instead of just leaving it alone, right, they're going through the comments on this story, and when they find a comment that they disagree with, they choose to engage, right? As if their disagreement with me is going to change my mind. It's going to be like I'm going to get an epiphany because some back the blue person is like, yeah, you're wrong. Cops are amazing. But that's not the person. That's like common, right? These people that just blindly, they regurgitate whatever memes populate their whole personality. Like they have no personality. You go to their account, if it's not a private burner account, you see like it's usually populated with memes. Like that's the only thing they post, all these right-wing memes. That's how they educate themselves about everything, right? They get these memes from the right-wing people that they follow, their echo chamber of people, and they regurgitate all of these things that they memorize from all these memes that are basically their personality, right? They have zero else to them. Nothing else in their life is as important to share on their social media than all of these right-wing propaganda memes. And they all say the same thing, and it's like I don't know what you think you're doing. You're not winning. You're not going to win. In most cases, I just block you, right? Maybe I'll go back and forth if I'm feeling bored that day. I have no problem blocking you. But the funny thing that happened is which I'll talk about tomorrow, I had a thing. I had the podcast numbers for the show had a funny number. It was 66,696 subscribers, right? 66696. So I took a screenshot of that number of my podcast subscribers and posted it up on Instagram and made reference to the two numbers that are funny in that, or, noticeable. 666, obviously, and 69. Right? Fun. 69. I mean, you can't pass up a 69 joke. If it was 42069, I would have done the same thing. I'm not like the funny thing is, right? And a Christian got very mad, right? She obviously disagreed. She's a back to blue type of person, because that's, if you're a crazy Christian person, then you're probably on board with all the other crazy things, right? She probably has a case of ivermectin under the sink just in case she gets COVID. Right? But she got upset, right? Disagreed. But before she commented on my thing, which she never talked to me, she talked to this other person who was commenting on my comment, saying that I'm satanic, right? Don't listen to me because I'm satanic. And if you go look at my Instagram page, you will see in my story, you will see in his story that he worships the devil. He has a post with the number 666 in it. Right? And this post, right? I was proud of this post, right? First, proud of the number. I'm happy with the subscribers as they're growing up. Apparently, Satan has been good to me, right? I put, I had a GIF of the 666 emoji spinning around on fire. I had hands doing 69, right? Because 69 is a funny number. I got fire emojis coming through. I have this really cool pentagram with Baphomet's head, the goat skull on it, spinning around, right? On a GIF spinning around. I used the Jay-Z song Lucifer, right? Sadly, it was produced by Kanye West, but, song Lucifer, it's a cool song, Jay-Z, whatever. Had that playing, right? Well-produced story. I was very happy with my story that I produced for Instagram, which I'll show. Maybe I'll show it now if I remember in post, or I'll show it in tomorrow's episode, or in Ray's Days. But it's hilarious. It is so funny when Christians call me like a Satanist or I worship Satan, as if like I believe in the bad guy of a story I don't believe in, right? They worship Harry Potter. And because I believe the Harry Potter stories to be a work of fiction, they think I worship Voldemort, right? I don't think the Bible is real. I believe the Bible to be a work of fiction. I don't think it's a documentation, an authentic documentation of events that have happened. It is a book that was written many hundreds of years after the events that are depicted in the book. It is a book that's been translated multiple times. It's a book that's been edited a bunch of times. It's a book that was not written in English to begin with, so there's language translation that's happened. It's a book that's been regurgitated and stuff. It's stories in this book that were in many ways plagiarized from older books, older religions. The majority of Christian holidays are repurposed pagan holidays. Like, there's very little authenticity to the Christian religion, right? Very little. It is like the the Lega sequel version of religion when it comes. That's like people who think, the Force Awakens is the pan-ultimate Star Wars movie, right? That it's like, it's ridiculous. And like, they assume I believe in the bad guy of their book because they disagree with me. But me referring to the devil or Satan is no different to me than referring to Voldemort or Darth Vader or whatever antagonist is in a fictional story. So I thought it was funny, right? She does this, don't listen to him, he's a Satan worshiper, right? So then I commented on her thing, right? Because she's having a conversation with somebody that's engaging with my comment, right? So her conversation to this her message to this other person who is pretty dumb, just regurgitating dumb propaganda, like I see it because it's under my comment. So what am I going to do? I'm going to tap on hers and send her a thing just to antagonize her. Hail Satan, all this stuff. Whatever I could do to scare a Christian Jesus freak, right? Hail Satan. And I also mentioned a thing that I actually believe in, that most Christians do the work of the devil in the name of the Lord, right? Most Christians, their actions are more in line with Satan than they are with Jesus. And the reality of Satanists, people that believe in the Church of Satan, their actions tend to be more in line with those of Jesus, right? It is insane how backwards so many Christians are. So in her defense of this cop, right, like, I'm not wrong because of the things I said. I'm wrong because I believe in Satan, apparently, right? Whereas I guess cops don't do the thing that God told them not to do, right? Killing people, abusing people, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, right, she's in defense of this cop that groomed a kid and killed their family. I'm the Satanist. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And fuck this cop. Fuck. That's the thing I said with this other person that was just delusional. I shouldn't have even engaged. Is that like she's trying to say, oh, this is a rare thing, just a bad apple, that kind of garbage explanation, that garbage way of dismissing every time cops get caught doing something, that it's just a small amount, right? It's just a bad apple. Most cops are good. I'm like, my thought process is, if there were so many good cops, how on earth do these bad cops constantly do shit? Constantly, right? If there were good cops, then bad cops would be arrested all the time for killing people, for maiming people, for beating people, for kidnapping people, for violating human rights, right? Good cops would stop all of these bad cops from doing things. And in my opinion, if there were any good cops, bad cops wouldn't exist, because those bad cops would be criminals. They would no longer be employed as police officers. But I don't think good cops exist. I think every once in a while a good cop exists, and when they show themselves, if they don't conform to the bad cops, then those good cops either get chewed up and spit out, or they get killed by the bad cops, right? Recently, there was a cop who got killed during training, right? And just so happened that cop that got killed during training was investigating the cops that killed him for crimes that they were committing, right? They don't exist. Good cops don't exist, right? And maybe a good person is a police officer, but they are clearly making concessions for being a good person to allow bad cops to pretty much do whatever they want to do. Most importantly, shout out to you. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out. much.
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.